So, is premium fuel worth it? In summary, depends on the application, but generally yes. Let me explain. Now, before we get into today's video, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, myself. Make sure you go to shopmcgarage.com and check out the store, pick up some merch. All the profits from the sale go directly back into making more videos, so it really helps me out. Alright, let's go back to premium gas. So if you own a vehicle, you've probably been to a fuel station before, and you've seen the different variations of fuel that you can purchase. Anywhere from 91 octane to E10, 95 and 98 octane. As well as some service stations in Australia have got E85. If you're in the US, I believe that you have 87, 89, 91 and 93, and some servos have got special fuel, but that's generally how it is. The US runs on a different octane structure to the European standard, so that's why the numbers are different. But anyway, that'll be in another video. So the long and the short of it is, if you have an older car that's got a low compression engine that runs port injection and doesn't rev that high and is naturally aspirated, running premium fuel probably isn't really worth it for you. The main reason why premium fuel is better is because it's more resistance to knock or pre-ignition. Now that's really important on some of the newer modern turbocharged direct injected engines, because in order to keep up with the ever-changing emission standards, manufacturers have had to rely on forced induction, high compression and direct injection to make their engines more efficient. And so if you get a new engine, say the 3.5 litre V6 EcoBoost from Ford, if you look at the air-fuel ratio whilst the car is doing a pull on the dyno, you'll find that the air-fuel ratio is actually really close to stoichiometric. Stoichiometric is 14.7 to 1, which is where practically all cars operate at idle and low load operations. Traditionally on port-injected cars, especially turbocharged cars, they would run anywhere from about 12 to 12.8 thereabouts. Again, it depends on the application and that specific engine, but point being, they're running significantly richer than stoichiometric. And so just back to the Ford EcoBoost, for example, it runs wide open throttle pull. It runs at about 13.9 AFR to 1, which is very lean, but they do this for fuel economy and to reduce emissions. The problem with this is that in order to get away with such a lean air-fuel ratio, you need a high compression engine and direct injection. And so because the air-fuel ratio is so lean, you need to be using a fuel that's very resistant to pre-ignition and detonation. Otherwise the engine will explode or you'll have holes in your pistons. If you have a modern turbocharged direct injected engine, using at the very least the middle grade to the premium grade of fuel is definitely worthwhile. So 95 or 98, or if you live in the US, 91 or 93. But if you have a 1990 or 2000 Toyota Land Cruiser, which are inherently a very lazy engine with low compression, then you can run whatever fuel you want in it and it will make very little difference. Side effect of these modern engines that run so lean is that often their pistons are incredibly strong. They're either a forged or a very high strength cast piece with generally weak connecting rods. They do this because forged pistons are a lot stronger and they're a lot more resistant to burning holes in them when they're running lean, compared to a weaker cast style of piston. But the important thing is to always go and check what the manufacturer has recommended for your car. Jeez. On the fuel flap, the next time you fill up, there'll be a little sticker and it'll specify a minimum octane and a recommended octane. Let's go and have a look. Alright, so we're at the fuel filling cap for my M135i. So this car has the N55, which is a 3 litre direct injected turbocharged engine that's relatively high compression considering it's turbocharged. So we'll have a look at the fuel flap. So if you have a look at the fuel flap, that's where it gives you all of the information. So they recommend using RON 95, but it also says that it can take 91 to 98 octane. The minimum is 89 octane, but that's more of a US fuel grade scenario. We don't actually have that here. And maximum of 10% ethanol, which is kind of interesting. If you're unsure, always have a look at the sticker on your fuel flap. Hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out the store at shopmcgarage.com. Like this video and subscribe for more. See you next time.